Okay, good evening, everyone. Ooh, whoops, didn't realize that was going to give me feedback on there. Sorry about that. Good evening, everyone. It is Tuesday, March 19th, and we are in the studio. Cirilla has already vacated the top of the drafting desk, but doesn't mean she won't be back before the end. Still trying to fix that harsh light. I don't know. One of these days I'll get good at lighting. Anyway, so couple of updates while we start. Yes, if anybody was at the Lehigh Valley Ithacon, I was not there on Saturday. Don't want to get too much into it, but essentially I was told that there was a possibility that the show wasn't going to happen and that it was better off if I just took the chance that it wasn't and go back home and not go to the show. So I didn't go. It's okay. I heard it was kind of underattended. I don't like saying stuff about shows. But yeah, so I don't know. I wasn't there, but I was going to be a guest. I'm not blowing it off or being flippant, but it was kind of strange because, yeah, didn't wind up really happening. Otherwise, yeah, I'm wearing my Pee Wee Herman Playhouse of 1,000 Corpses shirt, which is great. I want to show off my stomach, but there's no way to. Oh, if I switch cameras, though, I want to show off this little. I'm doing this wrong. Hang on. Okay. I don't know. Can I get it in here? It's going to be upside down, though. The best part of this shirt is that it says, "Be sure and tell him Large Marge sent you," right on the bottom there, which is fantastic. If anybody's seen the movie, yep. Well, drafting desk is already up, so you might as well just switch over to there. But yeah. So I've been working on a couple things the last couple days. This one had been started last week. Oh right, just giving a shout out to the makers of the shirt here. It's Horrible Home Video. Yeah. They gave me all these nice little goodies with it too. And some stuff I ordered. I got myself a pin and a Garfield lasagna nomicon pin. And I think it's a sticker and a magnet. Yeah, magnet, sticker, same thing. Anyway, really cool. Horrible Home Video. They do limited runs of a lot of the stuff. Actually, the Pee-wee's Playhouse of 1,000 Corpses was like a reprint because it was so popular. Oh, how about that? What is that? Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure Time. I worked with somebody that used to put up little things where they would combine names of films. Wasn't always horror related, but anyway. On to the program, our scheduled program. Yeah, I don't know. Cirilla's been a little bit of a PETA the last few days. Well, last two. Today's only Tuesday. But yeah, she doesn't seem to be here right now. Not good for the audience. Fantastic for me right now, though. I can't even tell what hair in my mouth is mine and the cat's now. But anyway, getting on with things. So yeah, up on the drafting desk right now, yeah, I do have, of course, oh damn, new designs. What do you think? I can't look at it right now. Sorry, Nelson. Anyway, I have to let them know. Not everybody knows I do my live streams on Tuesdays because if they're Instagram followers or friends or vendors that I have on Instagram, they don't know because I don't go live on. Oh my God, Cirilla, thank you. I don't go live on Instagram, not yet. I might wait till show 50 or 40. I wanted to do, and maybe when I get a proper like intro song, which I keep saying I'm gonna do and then I don't. just like everything else, it takes me longer than I think it's going to take me. It's my inability to focus. Anyway, yeah, speaking of focus, so I decided, any designs that I did, which were those headshots I did last year, the busts of the figures, if they did very well, because I want to move on to these waist up pieces or, 3/4 pieces, at least for prints. I'm still offering the headshots as commissions, which, if you want a commission, you can always go to jmdesantis.com and click on commission requests. I'm a little sparse this year. We started off strong last year, but yeah, always happy to do those, take those. So yeah, please, consider them. And I can do them in show, but I prefer doing them as pre-show pickups. Anyway, where are we? Right. So unsurprisingly, well, a little bit surprisingly to me, my Dark Souls pieces have done very well. Although I do have some apprehension of continuing to do fan art because, well, the most important part is, well, I'm actually not sure which of these is more important than the other, but of course, I respect people's copyrights. And speaking of copyrights, I have my own characters like Chadiana. Like, I would rather be doing original work, or at least copyright safe work like Nosferatu and Oz and Wonderland. But anyway, yeah, I do have CT GamerCon coming up in 2 weeks, so I should probably update a couple pieces, and then, we can go from there. So yeah, I was redoing my Dark Souls pieces, and since I only have, and the toned ones have been doing really well with the Bloodborne pieces, but I had a doll, but I didn't have her as a full body, well, a half body, so I'm going to add her into the mix, because I only have her headshot for it. And then, yeah, oh, right, 2 weeks ago, I tested out the watercolors on the, what is this, molding paste. Worked out well. See, this is what this cat does to me. She'll just, bite everything. But at least they can see your gorgeous eyes, right, Cirilla? Very nice. Okay, so let's get on to drawing, because, that's mostly what we're here for. If this cat lets me work. She might not. It's my curse. I got this lovely cat, and she likes to interrupt me working. She likes to eat books, all the spines of them, which is she couldn't even just eat the corners and do a messy dog ear or something on them. No, she's gonna eat the spines. Okay, what am I looking up? I don't know, though. Maybe I should just work on trying to finish one of these, and I can work on the Elite Knight armor another night. That's true, I should. Doll, Bloodborne. I might just work on her. Anyway. Well. What else is in there? Oh, John. I don't know if he's still watching, though. Okay, Real. What's this called on? Straight. Okay. Oh, now we got more likes. That's nice. All right. So you're gonna let me get to work here or something? Maybe. Probably not, right? That's not your style. Right. Oh man. That see, just hair everywhere. I can hear the fan on my laptop's working hard again. My planner. Oh, that was another thing. I snuck in to register for a show early, and I got what. So now I have to register at the regular time. A friend of mine tried to help me out. Really appreciate it. Not going to say his name on a live stream, but would have been good. But I also registered for Salem Haunted Happenings, my local street fair, and those three. The one that I'm not going to mention because I don't think I got anybody upset, but they noticed. And they, well, I tried. I really tried. I'll let you all know if it happens, but I am doing another one of their shows this year, so anyway. Are you gonna try to lick the friggin' trays of watercolors? I'm gonna put it down here. The thing is, I can't see the color as well down here, but you make it so hard. And then the wall, what have you got? Hair. All that hair that's all over the place. Gets in the paints, gets in the brushes, gets in the ink pen. She's gone now. Move back up. This is the game I play with my supplies with this cat. Off. I always start with I try to start with a wash. I recently did a piece for practice that didn't have one. Anyway. Yeah, it's getting to be that time of the year where I can't afford to not work on something for either a print or whatever during the live stream. I don't think I'm going to be able to do many more random pieces because this 2 hours a week might be my designated time to work on some smaller projects and prints that need to get done. While I'm at it, I might as well say I'm going to do at least 3 cryptids this year too, because I'm doing a cryptid and paranormal festival in June. It's June 1st. It's a one-day show that was recommended to me by Madam X, who has never recommended a bad show yet. So I will continue to go by her advice. But yeah, so that is going to be another add-on to my. Well, I'm already registered for it. It's one-day show. I just forget where. It's somewhere in New Jersey, I'm pretty sure. It's a town I know, but I don't think of that often until it comes up like it did for this one. Anyway, yeah. So I'll probably have some cryptid pieces. You can expect that one of them is going to be the Jersey Devil because I'm from New Jersey. I live in New Jersey, and that's our cryptid. I don't care if I'm at a show in Ohio. I will. Well, I haven't done an Ohio show, but I'm just saying, like I will have the Jersey Devil with me. There is a Jersey Devil project I would like to work on, but I haven't gotten to it yet. Like about a lot of other things. I know that the mic is muted. I'd like to see how many people are watching. Almost no one. No, that's not true. I don't know. I can never tell who's on YouTube. YouTube's always the mystery. I get the Facebook numbers, not the YouTube numbers. To decided to try a new way of drawing chainmail. It was not any quicker because I still can't help myself but draw like every length possible. Anyway, she's got to dry. And if I remember correctly, I got to add some. Well, I got to finish drawing those flowers and add some vines and thorns and stuff over here. So anyway, I don't know though. I mean, it's possible that these and 3 other pieces are going to be the last fan art pieces I do for a while. It's possible. At least of like, you know, non-public domain stuff. I don't know. It's just making me nervous again. I know a lot of people do it, but I don't actually I don't like it in practice, but I've been doing it because there's a lot of pressure and advice to do it when you're doing these conventions from other artists, you know. But just, I don't know. I don't want to do that. I mean, I don't mind doing the pieces in general and just, you know, whatever, but, you know. Those are in pretty good shape, though. I just want to make them a little bit more defined. Anyway, with the 2 registers I did do today, and minus the one that I had to reapply for, but yeah, I think I'm going to be at, with including the ones that are passed, I'm going to be at 34 this year already. I think I said it already on another live stream, but that means it's very likely I will equal or get or go higher than I did last year, which last year was 38, technically 39 if you count the one that I was not physically present at, but I had representation from my parents who were kind enough to drive up the street to a local show with some stuff. I made the move-in package as organized for them as possible. More organized than I make it for myself, because a lot of times things will end up going in bins like haphazardly at the end, and I don't wind up opening them again until the next show. Just because I'm doing so many now, it kind of happens that way. I don't get the organization I used to get. I'll get better at it. So many things have been changing with my setup the last year, and I've said it before that it's just it's made my typical organized setup become very chaotic, both setting it up and just, you know, keeping the stuff together and everything ready for the next show. I generally have a good system. It's just been a little bit different last couple of years. or this last year. It keeps changing, but who knows? Maybe I'm finally setting into a good setup that I want. I got my my printer, Dean Morris of Googleplex Collectibles, who's redone so much of my signage now. It's row of hairs. Seeing it crept back over here. That cat. So yeah. My signage has been updated. This is the one I'm looking for. Oh, headbutting that thing. What happens? Wow. Ooh, okay. I really like the way this has, well, it's kind of maybe hard to see, but, oh, it's not. But how it has a flow of, like, associated items going with it and making kind of like a abstract shape around her. I might start doing more print designs like this, but I gotta be honest, like, I do need to have more designs on the table to keep the interest level, but I really just want to be working on more books again. I feel like, again, last year, other than the Kirkland horror, not much was accomplished by way of getting more publications out. I had this weird moment. I think it was during a live stream, but I was thinking to myself, if I were a fan of my work, what would I love to see, like, more effort being gone into, and where would I, like, what would be the stuff I would be excited to have coming out? And for me, it really would be the books. It's just, you know, again, it goes by a lot of the advice you get, but some people just feel like they're so hard to sell. And it's true, the prints are still accounting for a large portion of my income at shows, but I still don't feel like that's the most wise time investment for a long-term strategy of making it. Unless, you know, I mean, making it as a, just doing it full-time, sustaining it long-term. Unless you are the type that just does illustration work, you know, you don't really do any kind of writing, but I do, so. Even when I try to do less defined noses, or I should say less of my characteristic noses, that's the one thing a lot of people say jumps out about the faces I draw, is they can always tell You just do a distinct thing with the noses. And I don't know. I might have said that before, but it's one of the things people notice about my style. I don't really get it. Is it because I don't draw like anime little nubs of noses? I'm not really sure. I don't really know. I feel like this is getting a weird bleed on this paper. It's probably not showing up on your end, anyone who's watching, but it is on mine a bit. So I'm getting a little bit nervous about using that. Now, the doll in Bloodborne does not have all these cracks on her, but considering the doll is old and used and such in the game, I like to think of this literally porcelain skin just kind of like cracking in places. Kind of like when I add scars to Red Sonja's face. She doesn't have them. The traditional character design from the comics, but you know what? I feel like all that traveling and fights, she should have some scars. Now, you will say, what about Chadiana? Chadiana's scarred up. First of all, her back's all... That's already been revealed. I mean, her back's all... not scars all up it. Thought about adding more as time goes on in her story, but you know, it's some of the canon timeline is very solid, and some of it's a little bit loose and up for interpretation. Yeah, I just like the window cracked because I need air, especially when it's cool out. I have to enjoy it while I have it. I know all those people like to get snotty and say, oh yeah, well, it's snowing now. You cold people don't like it. No, I do. I like it when it snows, and I like it when it's cold. Once the sun starts coming out for the summer, I just like, it gets harder. And what's funny is, like, I tend to surround myself with people that like the warmth. I don't think I've ever had a girlfriend that wasn't like a warm weather person. But, yeah, you know, a lot of my friends are, or always have been. But, yeah, I'm just like, I'm really a cold person. Not that I hate the heat, but, you know, once we start getting into the 90s, I just want to be eating gallons of ice cream in the air conditioning. Oh, right. I know what Nelson's probably asking me too, and I can't answer him. He's probably asking me about his logo. We were just talking about how he wants to update it because he hates it. Nelson Moss of Geek Emporium. You've probably seen him at many shows. He's often at shows where I'm at. And we are, you know, like happens with some vendors, we're becoming friends. He keeps saying we gotta get together for dinner because he doesn't live far from me. I guess I gotta make that happen as much as he does. You know. It's one of those things on the to-do list, like my 500 projects. I will say this, though. I probably, other than finishing Chadiana and another graphic novel this year that is not going to take nearly as much time that I want to get to. After Chadiana, of course. And, because writing occupies different time in my day than artwork does. Not saying that that makes it easier, because it's still having to concentrate on two different things. I think I've figured out what my next novel is going to be. And I'm going to try to get out the other novella that I wanted to do, I think a year or two ago, that I didn't get to finish. Actually, it's kind of already part started, so it doesn't make sense not to finish it. But yeah, if I do, the novel I'm thinking will be the next one. It will be a vampire love story, not like Twilight. Not at all like that, but it's just it's one I outlined a considerable amount a while ago, and I just feel like it might be the right one to do next, because I like it. I didn't have a lot to go on when I sat down to write the outline, and then it kind of like built itself pretty quickly and easily, and I was like, oh, you know what, this could be really good. So I might concentrate on that. As soon as some of these other projects get done. Although I've outlined the whole story for A Kid in a Comic, I still have to finish that, the Chadiana one. I mean, I've already written The Beast a year ago. It's just up to Len to finish the artwork. And then, what am I thinking of? And, all of the current outstanding Chadiana stuff is written. There might be little tweaks that happen, but certainly not any rewrites. That graphic novel and set of stories, I carefully selected and outlined them all so that there would be some cohesion and theme to the book. So, but they weren't just a whole bunch of randomly thrown together stories. So not too much of that. I wouldn't say not too much of it is going to change. Nothing of it's going to change. It's just, basically I don't have to do any more real writing on it unless I decide, just want to tweak a little bit of dialogue or something. Oh, well, there are the conlangs, but I have been working on them. Jim, the true Jim, not this Jim, he gave me advice to work on them about 30 minutes a day, which I have tried in the past, something like that, but it's never really worked out. But this time it seems to be going well. So I'm going to continue with it. And that means number 3 will get out. And I'll be working on number 4 while I'm doing A Kid in a Comic. I have more good news about the progress of number 5, and then I can get that one out too. Much better than the other one I did. I'm not sure what the puppet obsession is with Miyazaki. Because he's got the doll in Bloodborne, and then Elden Ring is full of marionettes. Sorry. my itchy finger for a second. Well, Nelson's not trying to still get in contact with me, so hopefully he doesn't feel that I'm ignoring him. I will respond. It's a little hard during the live streams. Such a quiet chat tonight. But then again, you know, people just like hearing my drony, nasally voice as I quietly and calmly work on artwork. For whatever reason. All right. Oh, but I do have, what is it? Nerd Force Fan Fest episode 1 this weekend, which is in Glassboro, New Jersey. That one I think is like 10 to 4. Location, you'll have to look it up because I don't remember. It's hard. You do so many of these and you just kind of like write it down and then go back for more later. But it's like an hour south, hour and a half. No, not maybe an hour and 15 minutes. I don't know. It's hard. I feel like people are bored when nobody's chatting, and then somebody chats and they come to life. But again, I guess some people watch it for. I possibly wasn't going to go live tonight. My dog Kyrie has been diagnosed with lymphoma. She's 8. I was going to say 18. She's 13. Really great dog. Doesn't live with me. It's a long story for that, but I would say that I just wasn't ready to own a dog at the time she was gone. And she, my parents got her for me. And I was still living home at the time. And so she's always stayed with them and all the dogs that they had because Kyrie's the last one. But the good news was she got a decent prognosis on, treatment and some quality extension of her life. So, she'll be around for a little bit longer, which was good news because I was a little afraid it was going to be like, she's got 5 weeks. That didn't happen. My little dukes. So. I don't know. I feel like I should swing a noisemaker or something. I rarely watch other artists' live streams. Occasionally, my friends, but so I don't. Well, no, occasionally my friends. So it's like, most of the chat's active, but I guess their chats aren't always active. The most active chat I see is Steph and Carrie and Wilson. Their fans are on it all the time. That's no pressure, of course, for anybody to talk. I enjoy the interaction sometimes. It didn't go off camera. No, it didn't, because I got just a little bit over. That's good. That's working out pretty good. I guess I would only have to zoom out if I was working on a larger piece. I'm trying not to play with it too much. I just move it over during the off times, and then, that's it. There's a little bit of adjusting because who knows how much real it touches it sometimes. So, great thing to bring up right now, but you can see all those fingerprints on the bottom, right? That's a lot cleaner than that. It's why I usually recommend people put something down when they're inking and drawing on watercolor paper, or paper that they're going to watercolor on. Because and I was talking to an artist about this a while ago, who was getting back into watercolors, and I told him, sometimes the oils on your hands can mess with it. I may have said that before. I probably repeat myself a lot on this. 34 episodes, you've pretty much heard all the advice I have to give. That's it. So if you're watching this for artist advice, you've heard it all. No reason to tune in anymore. Not true. I'm entering a phase again where I kind of like the artwork I'm doing. It's always a dangerous time because it lasts sometimes only hours. What I haven't been liking is the way I've been working with color, which is something that once I mastered my watercolors, I was really liking, but I don't know, something just doesn't seem to be working for me about it. I don't know if it's small things I changed or added, I should say, but I haven't been thrilled with my color work lately. Well, with a few exceptions. There have been some good ones, but I feel like some stuff, I'm not as happy with it. Oh, Wendy. How are you doing, Wendy? I hope well. I haven't seen you in a minute. I suppose I'm not going to see you at Garden State this year because I doubt Carrie Ann's going to be able to get Steph to come down to New Jersey for it. I am going to be staying with them, though, at the end of next month. I'm doing all right. Yeah, I feel like I don't know what else to say. I'm doing all right. That's bad. Yeah, I get it. Yeah, I'm gonna be with them for Monster Expo in Fairhaven. Fairhaven, right? Massachusetts. It's like 40 minutes from them, so I'm going to stay with them. We'll hang out. I'll get to see more of the Cape, and then, do the show. And, maybe do another live stream up there. Who knows? We'll see. Did I miss one? I always leave the cursor. You're jelly. I'm jelly. Oh, I say, yeah. That's awesome. You're heading that way in June. What's in June? Not Fan Expo Boston, because I thought they didn't do that one anymore. It would be cool if they did. We had a great time in Boston. Well, you weren't there, but it was Chris Mad and Carrie Ann and Steph. Not for a con, just to see Steph and Carrie. Oh, you're so kind. I only go when it's business. No, I could go when it's not. I just, it just seems to work out that I don't like imposing on people either. I'm sure they'd love to have me when it's not a con thing. It's just, I don't know. When your life is work, it's hard to not do it when it's work related. It happens. Oh, maybe I'll try to get up and see them. It's just every weekend I'm like in that thing again where just about every weekend I got a show. So it's like convenient to go see them either around shows that I'm going to be at. Like, yeah, I stayed with them a few days. The only time actually I did, now that I think about it, was I was going to Salem for Haunted Happenings and to sell over there. And, but I stayed with them a couple of days before I went to Salem. We had a good time. You've been there 4 times. No, I know. When I was there, actually, and I have been kept in the basement like a prisoner. That's funny because, I got to see some of the Cape. We went out to lunch a couple times, and I was thinking, like, I hope I'm not, like, messing up their schedule because, like, I don't want them to not work because I'm here. Certainly I brought work to do. I thought it was going to be a working vacation. We worked, though. We definitely did. It's just, yeah. But, yeah, you should tell them to go take you out to the seafood place, too, if you like seafood. They have, like, really good food, and they give you a lot. Right, Salem. I was staying with them a few days before Salem, which was great. I just applied to it again today. So hopefully I get in. And hopefully I got some good dates. Actually, it seems like they have more dates this year than they had last year, so maybe. We couldn't because of snow. Oh, well, I chose bad times to go. Actually, when I was there, though, we had a lot of work to do. Oh, that makes sense, yeah. Steph's got a lot of work to do because I got him my variant cover a while ago, and they were telling me, yeah, beginning of January, and I got it in at the end of January, which they didn't bother me with. Because apparently I was the only person in at the time, and I'm not calling anybody out on that. But then I haven't even finished the comic for Gobblers 2, which I'm not, I know that they have a full plate. They do a lot of work. They hustle. Well, actually, Carrie hustles, and Steph just sits in a hunched position drawing so that Carrie Ann can hustle more. It's funny though. They're great. Yeah, suddenly I'm kind of missing them. Oh, you have it colored. Okay. Oh, and you're working on the project. That's good. Yeah, but like I said, I know that you go a lot because you had already been there at least once or twice when I went in October, and you were already on their calendar of guests for like another visit coming up. And I was like, they're like, yeah, Wendy comes a lot. I was like, well, I got to line up with a date that Wendy's going, because when do you see people from California unless you're traveling? Oh, thanks, Mark. How you doing? Yeah, you try to twice a year. I appreciate you saying it's a great watch. I think there are things that are much more entertaining to watch. Paint dry comes to mind, No, not that bad, but I don't know. You know what it is about doing these live streams? Actually, speaking of Wendy and Carrie Ann and Steph, it was Carrie Ann and Steph that encouraged me to start doing these. And this is where I'm a bad business person, right? Because I always look at the stuff I like. I would never watch my show. I would never watch it. I don't know what to say. So, like, for me, I don't get it. But people enjoy it. Who am I to say? I never knock people for what they like. Soon we might have some presidential artwork going. Past presidents. And it's Mark's project, but we've been talking about a project that he wants me to work on for a while, which I think is a fantastic idea. But I will not reveal details until the time comes. I don't know why I'm liking it, but I am. Be ready for me to tear it up an hour from now, but no, I won't do that. Have I ever torn up one of my artworks? That's a good question that I'm asking myself because no one asked. I'm sure I have. I know that I accidentally spilled ink on a piece when I was much, much younger. And, oh man, that killed me because I really liked how it was coming out. I have looked back at that piece and I think eventually I redid it, because I wanted to finish it. It was for my comic book I had as a kid. But I remember just thinking, oh, it was coming out so good. Both versions did kind of come out good though. For the age I was, yeah. Yeah, of course, Mark. We gotta get that going at some point. Well, I know you gotta write it. That wasn't a pressure thing. I don't know why I said it like that. We'll get there. I'm looking forward to it. It's things I love: history, ancient cultures, supernatural, monsters. Yeah, it'll be fun. It'll be really fun. Okay, what's this one? Please remind me what you were working on here. They could be great cosplay. Oh, well, this is Chadiana. That's my main character from my comic series. This is a character from the video game Bloodborne, because I have a video game convention coming up, and I don't have a larger piece of her, and I'm redoing these Dark Souls characters because I did a lot of headshots last year to test the market on certain properties that I was going to do fan art of. And my Bloodborne and especially my Dark Souls pieces do very well comparatively to what I'm used to, very well. I'm not making insane money, but so the response has been good. But I do want to pivot. I do want to pivot away from fan art again. I don't know. It doesn't feel right. Although I did find out you can get a license from Bandai Namco for Dark Souls and Bloodborne stuff, so maybe I will do that. Konami, on the other hand, who's letting all kinds of companies work on their properties, you can't get one. So I don't know that I'll be able to continue doing Castlevania associated fan art. But this stuff, yeah, if I got a license, sure I could, And that would be good. I'm okay with a license, But yeah, I want to be working on more of my own stuff and stuff like the project we're going to work on. It's hard. I need to get people to come to the table so I can sell them on the other stuff. Even A Kid in the Comic, which is great. Depending on the show I'm at, it can be hard to sell that one. And now I've got 2 reasons to get people to buy it for me, besides any friends and colleagues that are also in the paper. But, when people come to my table, they usually want to spend their money on stuff I've done. So I got Chadiana showing up in it, and I've already had the Beast going. So it's like, still not necessarily the easiest thing to sell. Again, depending on the show. What is the ballpark for a license? I think you have to apply and they give you a price. That's a good question, but I was actually going to go apply for one from Bandai Namco, and I think it really depends on the company. Because, I know in a different conversation, I think John, for A Kid in the Comic, was thinking about going to, because he wanted to do sports stories. So I think he was going to go to the MLB and NFL and stuff and see if he could, license certain things from them. So I don't know what it would be. I know that when I went to go fill out the application, they wanted you have to give an end date for the license. I'm thinking, well, I don't know how long I want to be doing this stuff for. Could be a while. I was like, how many years do I put in? I guess I can't put an endless one. I'm sure I could renew it, right? That makes sense. But I don't know. You have to apply and say what you're using the license for, and I guess they get back to you with the amount. So yeah, and I would imagine it depends on the property. I could be wrong. Maybe I did one Star Wars piece ever, but it was pre-Disney owning it, so I don't think I've touched anything that Disney owns. other than Oogie Boogie I did during a live stream. You know, and I started a Sally from Nightmare Before Christmas. But anyway, I would imagine like their licenses are probably, depending on what you're trying to do, pretty expensive. Yeah, but I guess it would depend on the length of the license, the scope of the project you were licensing it for. You know, I would imagine just doing some prints or whatever, if they were cool with that, probably most companies wouldn't charge you a lot for that. Maybe. Yeah. Oh my god. Getting tired too early. That seems to happen during these live streams. All of a sudden I get really yawny. Oh my god, 8 people watching on Facebook. And God only knows how many on YouTube. This is quite the showing tonight. I say that because I think I've only gotten the double digits twice. I don't know though. I noticed that if I post about this event happening later in the day, I get more people tuning in. I used to at one point post it the day before, but again, I almost didn't go live today. If the news about my dog was not good, I probably was not going to go live. But things turned out okay. Hey, bud. I don't know if I'll answer your question in a second, Michael. Did you message me something recently? I don't know, or was it the piano was the last thing? Either way, very good to see you. Glad you tuned in. All right, Michael, you actually bring us into double digits because there's 9 on Facebook and you on YouTube right now. What am I working on? Chatty on a piece, which I didn't finish last week, but I inked it all before the live stream started and just added the wash. And then I am updating some, I know we've talked about it, but fan art pieces, because I have a video game, I have CT Gamer Con coming up in 2 weeks, and my Bloodborne and Dark Souls art has really gotten a lot of attention. So I'm moving. If you remember, I did those headshot pieces. I don't have any near me. Do I? No. Last year I did all those headshot pieces. So any of the ones that have performed really well, I want to do same size, but like more of the character with a little bit more of a background in there. This one in particular, I really like the design on. So just how all these elements are kind of making a shape in the background. So yeah, I got a couple more fan art pieces I'm doing, but I'm getting a little, I wouldn't say tired of it, but I really want to be working on my own stuff or the public domain stuff, which includes Michael, you're welcome, bud. I got a cryptid show coming up in June. It's a 1-day show. So, you know, cryptids, that's public domain. I mean, so I'm probably going to do a Jersey Devil and a couple others, probably Wendigo. And maybe a Chupacabras. I like to try to plan them in threes. It gives me more than just one piece to put on the table, but also when I'm posting on Instagram, 3 in a line. But yeah, I don't know. These, I kept saying I was going to do some other stuff, but I don't know. It might be these 3 larger ones. These 4, right? 3 larger ones I do, which will be kind of like a Mod Podge of different things, and then I don't know, like unless I have a license, I might move away from the fan art again, unless it's public domain stuff. Like I'll keep doing the Oz stuff. You know what though, Mark? That's not a bad idea. I never thought about having 2 cryptids fighting each other. I'm only sighing because you may have given me more work to do, because sometimes when an idea is that good, I can't help myself. I gotta do it. That's not a bad idea, though. I don't know. I thought the Abominable Snowman and the Yeti were the same thing. Or no, because the Yeti is Tibetan, right? I think. And the Abominable Snowman is from some other place. But yeah, and I know Bigfoot's not the same. Well, it's similar, but it's not the same thing, because that's an American thing. Yeah, but cryptids would fit in with a lot of my stuff, because I'm still trying to, and these do fit in, right? But I'm trying to lean in hard with the horror and dark fantasy stuff, because all my original work is that. And I know I was already saying the fan art I was doing was going to at least be in the genres that I work in, and at least theme-wise relate to a lot of my own work. But so I'm still going to stick to that. But yeah, like I'm doing so much better at those horror shows. I looked already. I think most of my shows again this year are horror shows. They're not. Well, they're definitely not comic shows, because again, I don't seem to do well at comics. When I say a comic show, I don't mean like New York Comic Con or Fan Expo. I mean like, I'm trying to think of a like proper comic show, because there's less of them these days. That's for sure. I know Michael talks about that a lot. And, I totally respect them. They just don't seem to, it's not the crowd that usually comes to get my stuff, And that was the wisdom I was given for a long time. I guess I didn't listen to it until my friend Jackie just took the time one day and told me about a whole bunch of shows. And then my life changed. I guess it did to a certain extent. It really did. Because, the horror shows have been great. They really, really have. Horror shows and general fan shows, where the audience is broad. I can't say with anime yet, because I've only done one anime show, and it's it's really its own thing. But and then I haven't. Oh, what was the other one? Damn it. And I only do one video game show, which is CT GamerCon. I wonder if I did more gaming conventions, if those would do well for me too. know. I guess comic fans are just really looking for that house style stuff, which I don't offer. I'll sell I think I've said this. I'll sell comics at a horror show. I'll sell comics at a general fan show. I'll sell comics at an anime show, or at the one anime show, or even the video game show. So it's not a matter of like my comics aren't of interest. They just don't seem to be of interest to the specific comic crowd. It's okay. I don't need my stuff to be liked by a specific audience, as long as it has an audience that likes it. If that makes sense. So yeah. Scripted battles. That's a good idea, Mark. That's a good idea. All right, where are we? Somewhere. Well, I'm at my desk. That's where I am. That wasn't a literal question, though. I meant in a piece. Oh, I guess I put those in since I got the thinner. Right. That one's kind of buried. Man, I'll tell you. Prayer hands are such a complex thing to draw. And then when they have these little pieces, because they're like doll hands, God, it makes it so much more complicated. But even when I did the headshot of this character, I like that I did it because she's got a lot of like fine details on her, and it really allows me to show off some of my ability to draw like intricate designs on a costume and stuff like that. As if I don't need things to slow me down already, because I just like getting in there and all that little fine stuff. I'm trying to decide where I need to focus on. Well, I guess finishing the flowers in the front, right? That would make sense. Since that's cutting off part of her. I think that's a great part of this design too. I didn't do it on these because I was gonna still have the banners like I did on the original headshot pieces, but for her, I didn't do banners on the bottom of the other two Bloodborne pieces that were on toned paper, so she's not getting a banner. Match the set. Actually, those two pieces I did at the end of 2022. I didn't even do them last year. They were just me playing around with this new paper. Well, it was new at the time. This toned mixed media paper. A lot of comic fans I know are stuck in a rut. So when they go to a show, they would rather buy Hulk 305 or something to complete a run than try something. Yeah, but you know what's weird, Mark? So, and some people, I feel like only a few people know this. I was building a pretty good fan base around Chadiana. I started her series in 2012. And I just had one little comic on the table at the time, with 2 stories in it. It wasn't even long. I think it was like 16 pages, 2 stories, really short. But I didn't have to sell that back then. From 2012 to even 2015, 2016, after she got picked up with a publisher. Problem was, of course, I could only carry the first issue because the publisher wouldn't print the other issues. They would only do it digitally. But yeah, like I didn't have to really sell it to people. People would just come up and ask about it. But I don't know. I feel like there's been a shift. Like now it's harder for me to sell to comic fans. It's like they've gone backwards or something, in the sense that like they were willing to try out new things before and now they're less likely. Like even at a comic show, I'll still sell more of my books, my novels, than I do comics sometimes. Although I did find out last year, I thought I didn't sell a lot of comics, but really Chadiana and The Tainted Ones, which is a short comic I did, both sold as well as my novels did. So they're not doing poorly, but again, at a comic show, not necessarily. It's a strange thing. It really is. I will find at other shows, yeah, like more people are like, oh, this looks cool. Like I'll get the kind of response I used to get at a comic show at different types of shows now. And I know it sounds like I'm really, I don't know. Sometimes I think I have a love-hate relationship with that industry. I mean, I do overall love it, and I love being able to tell stories with pictures and words. There's a lot of people I really enjoy that are mostly or strictly comic people. A lot of friends I have in that industry, but I also just see a lot of problems. I don't know. And I'm saying problems, but I don't mean like, although those problems also exist, like harassment or embezzling money and stuff like that. I just mean, I don't know, something about the mentality. It's just different. It is. Can't help it. I don't know. I've been doing this too long to pretend it's different than it really is. In that regard. But, it's cool, though. I mean, in a weird way, though, I will say that I didn't necessarily ever think that my work was going to be appealing to the traditional comic fan. at least the traditional American comic fan. You know, I kind of wanted to always do something different. So, I mean, Chadiana is very different. But then, yeah, I got stuck in a rut for a while, too. Get real talk with JM DeSantis sometimes. Well, I always try to be real. As much as I can be. Without coming off like a... Well, anyway. Where were we? Comic shows and horror shows. Oh. Oh, man. Oh, wow. It's been an hour and 20 minutes already? I didn't know. I may be here talking dirt about comic responses to my work, but you know what? I'm enjoying doing this drawing because I didn't know an hour and 20 minutes had passed. No, I got nothing against the comics community. I just see a lot of... It's hard to put your finger on it. I don't know an exact way to describe it. But there's a bit of self-cannibalizing, they say. That's all I can say. And I'm not sure why that is. Just an opinion. And we all know what an opinion is like. Let's see. You know, there is a perhaps morbid habit of whenever I try to fit my signature into a piece of artwork that has a gravestone in it, it always winds up on the gravestone. I try not to make it intrusive, but I don't know. I try to like work it in as a design somewhere so that it just doesn't, like, you can find it. I don't try to hide it, but I also don't want it to just like stand out. So you're like, oh man, you know, the signature friggin' guy just, you know, wants everyone to know who did it. Well, actually, that's a good point. I do want people to know who did it, because here's an annoying thing that happens. I know there are a lot of people that are, well, nowadays, because of AI, I think it's getting more common to put watermarks on your work and, you know, have identifying symbols on it. You don't know how many times I've looked at artwork online and I think it's great. And it's like, I have no idea who the artist is, because there's no signature, there's no watermark, there's no website, there's nothing identifying on it. So I can't look that person up. And, you know, besides protecting your work, I think it's a good branding decision to have a watermark and a signature and stuff on your work when it's online, because, you know, it's not like it's in a published book with credits or whatever. It's like you gotta have credits on it somewhere. somebody finds on a random website because it got reposted like 90 times or whatever and wound up on some kid's hard drive, and then he shared it with a friend, and like it just, you want people to be able to find your work. Always watermark your work. You don't have a website, it's okay. Put your artist name on there. It's not even to guard against theft. More importantly, you want people to find your work and know who did the piece. Hey, Lewis. I'm going to try to call you Lewis and not Luis anymore. Although I still got to call George because he introduced himself as George, and I don't know that I could get used to Jorge, even though, as I've said before, I was friends with a Jorge in high school. It's not like I don't know the difference. Anyway, yeah. You caught me at a bad time the other day on the phone. I hope I wasn't too cranky with you. I was trying to be as gracious as possible. But yeah, I was going to tell you too, I got to get Bob Sidaro's Wolf Girls up first, but then yes, we will get Jennifer the She-Wolf. Yeah, but I'm sorry, usually we have more of an exchange during these things. Well, I hope you have a good night too. Get some rest. I hope your experiments with morning routines are going really well, And I'm glad it's okay. Yeah. I think, yeah, well, that was the day that I drove around like crazy and wound up not going to that show. And then I came home and I was over at my parents' place and I just wanted to relax and eat some dessert. And then you called and, I picked up, right? I didn't ignore the call. But it's funny. You weren't the only one. The next day, I got 2 other phone calls from people that I don't talk to regularly enough. Not that I wouldn't want to. I just mean like, all of a sudden I was getting all these phone calls from people. I got popular for a couple days there, which was nice. It was Teresa and Tim Jones. Well, Tim I talked to fairly regularly, but it had been a while again. Drink a lot and drive fast. Well, I'll try not to. I'll drink a lot of seltzer. I can't do it like I used to in my 20s. This is a funny story. On YouTube, though, and Facebook Live. Anyway, the last time I really partook heavily in adult beverages, a friend of mine who's younger than me and lives in Florida now with his wife, he had just turned 21. And I don't know, what was I, 25 at the time or something? Oh my God, I had a hangover for about, I don't know, like 2 or 3 days it lasted. And I was like, yeah, I just can't anymore. It was too much. It was over by then. Next time I'll use you as a speed bump for my wheelchair. Yeah, you know what though? You've said that before, but they're starting to sound like empty threats. Because I have not been run over. It just reminds me of a story my brother and I were talking about the other day. I have not been run over by a wheelchair, but I have accidentally given two people a spare tire with a wheelchair. I was pushing somebody around while we were in Disney some years ago, one of my family members. And I gave my sister-in-law a spare tire with it. And then, right, is that what you call it? Spare tire when you run over the back of somebody's ankle? Thought it was. And then there was this random older woman who really was pretty pissed off about it. I ruined her Disney day. Oh, it's on. Yeah, well, we'll see. We'll see. Starting to sound like a big talker, Lotus. I don't know. All these threats. Getting myself in trouble. Well, you know, harmless antics are some of my favorite things. We all got to get together, though. I feel like the Darkfire press crew is like still too separated. And on top of that, I'm trying to figure out a new way to work the logo into my table display because I'm doing so many conventions. I don't want it to get lost. I thought about doing another table runner with the logo on it. A flat tire if you knock the heel of their shoe off. Yeah, well, then, okay, yeah. That's what it is. Yeah, I did. I flat tired my sister-in-law with the it was the foot pads. And then yeah, I had some random old woman too. Because they were hard to see. I was like pushing and I couldn't really see where they were, but yeah, that old woman was she wasn't like really old, right? Like 60 something, 70, but you know, 70 something. So not old, but you know, older. And man, her reaction was just so. I shouldn't laugh, but I was just because she kind of made like an offhand comment. My brother and I could not remember what it was, but man, I remember she just had me in tears laughing all the way to the haunted mansion. This is terrible. You guys are getting to see a really, really interesting, really interesting side of me. Ooh, my sense of humor can be something else sometimes. Oh my God. She wasn't seriously. I mean, if she was really seriously hurt, like if I knocked her to the ground and she really got hurt, I would not be laughing about it. But if I don't stop laughing, these lines are going to start getting really wiggly. Oh man, I'm trying not to laugh so hard. Tough. It's weird though, these things. I'm just thinking about it now. Somebody's on their speakerphone out there, maybe. Anyway, it's weird because the only voice I'm ever hearing is mine while I'm doing a live stream. But of course, sometimes I'm answering questions or talking to people. So it's this very odd experience, isn't it? For me. For you guys, I'm sure it's like, it would not be as funny. No, it wouldn't be. No. I forget. It was like, it was something like, why don't you just effing run me over? Oh man, it was good. Made my day. I really have to stop. I'm trying to concentrate, but I'm getting like that laughing bug in me. You know, the kind of thing where like you're at a funeral and something strikes you funny. It just, you know, and then you can't. You're just like, oh God. We've all been there. And if you haven't, you have not lived. I don't mean, you know, nearly running over an old woman with a wheelchair. I mean, you know, getting laughing fit at an inopportune time. God. I thought I said I was going to finish those flowers in front first. You know, this is what happens. That's why nothing ever gets done around here, because I'm working on a piece and I said, that's got to be next. And I did all that. Completely forgot. How many artists have ruined their careers from having too much fun drawing it? You know, that's, you know, have ruined their work. I'm sorry, ruined their work from having too much fun drawing it. I don't, you know, maybe that's a rhetorical question, because I don't think that does happen. Actually, you know, a lot of times, and there are exceptions, right? Well, I think, no, not entirely. Orale. Oh, I don't know what that means, Anibal. I don't know. Is that, I want to say a regional thing. You know, because it's not Ola. It's Chicano. So what's Chicano? Wait a second. Yeah, no, I get it means what's up. I figured it meant that. It's like what's good is the Bronx lingo for what's up. I know that because one of my ex-girlfriends was from the Bronx originally. Mexican gangsta. Oh, really? Okay. Wait, are you maybe Gabby's Puerto Rican? I thought you were Puerto Rican. Now I'm gonna sound like a real jerk. It's only because I meet a lot of Puerto Ricans. Oh, you're not Mexican. Okay. All right. Yeah, I didn't think so, but you know. Just throwing all kinds of curveballs on me, Annabelle. You're really making this difficult. Oh. It's good to see you, man. I was thinking about you today or yesterday, how, like, I don't know, we haven't gotten together and just hung out or talked in a while. Hope you've been well. Weather's getting warmer. Just have a cookout or something. What happened? Well, I thought we were gonna you were gonna do those like movie nights or whatever. Especially in the old '90s movies. I just have a fascination with that Chicano culture, especially the old '90s movies. Yeah, I'm trying to think. Like, that's a good question. I feel like if I really think about it, most of the movies that I saw that had Latino character it was probably a little stereotypical. I think the guy in Batteries Not Included was like criminal. I don't know. You know who I think of often and you don't see her anymore? At least I don't. Is like Rosie Perez was like everywhere in the 90s. And then, I don't know. She just went away. I don't know what happened. Maybe, I'm sure she's still doing stuff, but I feel like she's not. I don't see her as much and stuff. Like Cheech and Chong. So I've never seen a Cheech and Chong movie, although I am aware of Cheech and Chong. Yeah. I've seen Cheech Marin in other films, of course, you know. But yeah, I don't think I've ever seen a Cheech and Chong movie. Nothing against them. I just never. Kind of weird though. I get that the names go together with the what is that, alliteration? Yeah, alliteration. But you know, it's Tommy Chong and Cheech Marin, so it's kind of like one last name, one first name. You know, they were great movies. American Me was the pinnacle of those Chicano movies. It starred Edward James Olmos. Yeah, well, yeah, he's. Well, of course, I've seen stuff with him in it too. But I always think of him as more of a serious actor, you know. You put down a great book to be here. Well, I really, I have a show coming this weekend. Yes, it's in Glassboro, New Jersey, South Jersey. It's, Nerd Force Fan Fest Episode 1. Oh wait, so Chicano was an actual. Oh, it's an actual series. Oh, now I sound really ignorant. Chicano. What? No, it just has an American or of Mexican origin. Was there a movie? Because you're saying like the movie was very serious and quotable. Well, Rob, I'm curious though what book you put down to be here. You're actually kind of late though. 9:43. I mean, come on, man. No, I'm joking. Usually you're in early and you leave early to go read a book. But threw me a curveball tonight. It's good to see you, Rob. But yeah, I'll be in Glassboro on Saturday. And then April really starts the traveling. I have 2 shows in different states, one in Massachusetts and one in Connecticut. But I will also be in New Jersey for 2 shows. And 3 out of 4 are horror shows. So I'm really, really leaning in hard there. Not as much. If I could find more fantasy shows, I would do those too. But only one I found and I know of is Dragon Con, and unfortunately, they turned me down for a table this year. I tried 2 avenues. I tried to get in as a guest because they have an application for that, and I tried to get in as a vendor. They said no. It was unfortunate. Would have been in Georgia for Labor Day weekend. It's like a 5-day show, Dragon Con. But we'll see. I put in my application for New York, by the way, New York Comic Con. I'm not saying this live so that, I can try to get a spot because I don't know what they're going to do. It's been a while since I've done the show, but, this came up very recently over somebody specific, but I do wonder how many people over the years I've seen and didn't know them at the time, or people that I've known were at New York Comic Con, and we just never crossed paths while they were there because it's just such a massive event. Been on the sidelines since 9, reading Pet by Catherine Chidkey. Not familiar. I was reading a bunch of Salem's Lot today. I know, I've been reading that book forever. Started getting to some good parts. I've been a little bit lukewarm on it so far. It's picking up. But I read Carrie in a few days because it was just so damn good. And then, this book is a collection of 3 novels. It's Carrie, Salem's Lot, and The Shining. I don't know why I originally thought The Stand was in there, which I want to read. I want to read the Dark Tower series, but I've thought it's okay, but it's picking up, so maybe it'll get better. Man, I just can't stick to one thing. Oh, you know what it is? That feels like it's drying up a little bit on me. It's just making these lines a little hard to do. Once upon a time, I used to be a fast artist, but I would say it was not as good. Some might say I'm not good now, but, it's an opinion, man. It's just your opinion. I don't know if I ever told that story either. Oh, man. A friend of mine, I have to have told this story. Not on a live stream, though. But I'm sure somebody's heard it. But I didn't see The Big Lebowski for a long time after it was out. And I'll never forget a friend of mine. I used to do a Halloween party, and he showed up. Oh, my God. He was telling me for months he had the best Halloween costume ever. And at the time, I had still not seen The Big Lebowski. So he shows up in this wig with sunglasses and a fake beard and, a bathrobe and sandals and a drink in his hand. And he's looking at me like, come on, isn't this such a cool costume? And I was like, what are you, a bum? I don't get it. He was the dude. He was Jeff Bridges' character. But yeah, I just had never seen the film, so I had no idea. He was so proud of the costume, and I was just like, what is this? This was the epic costume you were telling me about. Dressed as a bum coming. Oh, God, that was great. Nothing like thinking you have an epic Halloween costume, and, well, other people knew who he was, but it's funny if nobody knows who you are. That movie is overrated. I tried to enjoy it. So let me put it this way. I thought it was a good movie, but it was not something that lives up to the hype. And I'll tell you something, Eyeball, and this is very true. A lot of times, if a movie is overhyped, I don't see it right away. And part of the reason is because I'm afraid that the hype is going to really make me not like the movie. So I want to go into it with like a fair assessment of it. But I liked it okay. I don't think it's this fantastic movie, but the movie that, yeah, it didn't live up to the hype. But a movie that I really didn't like at all, that was so hyped up, is My Big Fat Greek Wedding. I just thought, like, wasn't. I just, it really was not that funny or impressive to me or whatever. So I didn't get it at all. And my sister, it had been out for like the longest time, and then my sister-in-law was hyping it up, and I was just like, I thought it was okay. But yeah, that happens to me a lot. And, you know, what a surprise. I mean, I like so many obscure things. I'm a unapologetic Zack Snyder fan. Everybody friggin' hates him for some reason. I don't get it. Although I haven't seen Rebel Moon, so, you know, don't quote me on that one. But I think I've seen every other Zack Snyder film. Well, no, okay, wait. I didn't see Justice League. I did watch wait, did he? Yeah. I watched the other DC films he's done, but I didn't see Justice. But I didn't hate them. I don't know. I think the man gets too much hate. Just an opinion. Just my opinion. But yeah, I've liked everything he's done. I see the genius of his work. Personally, like, I thought Sucker Punch was awesome. I thought the concept was great. But yeah, a lot of stuff doesn't live up to the hype for me. So I that's why I try not to. I try to really go into everything with an open mind. And if the hype is too great and I'm already feeling like I don't think I'm going to like this, I avoid it until the hype's calmed down in a couple of years, and then I'll go watch it. And sometimes I'm surprised. I like the Snyderisms. Yeah, I did. It's like, you know, I remember when, and I don't even remember what it was. Maybe it was Sucker Punch. I remember the first time I started hearing how much people just hated Zack Snyder films, and maybe hated Zack Snyder. I don't know. I usually separate things, you know, just because I don't like somebody's work. Like, you know, I've said before, maybe Alan Moore is hot and cold with me, but I hear he's a very nice man. I just haven't liked everything he's written, but that doesn't mean I don't like him as a person. Never met him. But anyway, yeah. When I first started hearing there was hate for Zack Snyder, I was just like, huh? I don't get this. He's a good filmmaker. He's great with visuals. His storytelling is solid. Like, I don't know. I don't see any plot holes or whatever. I mean, if you don't like his stuff, that's cool, but I don't get the really, like, visceral hate for his stuff. I don't get it. I think my brother's one of those. He mentioned something about Zack Snyder needing to, like, retire or something like that on St. Patrick's Day. That was this past weekend. Right. Okay. I'm drawing here. Yeah, I don't get it. I like the guy's movies. You don't, that's okay. You're entitled to your opinion. I don't mean you, Hannibal. I just mean people that don't like it. It's okay. I don't think you need to hate the man for it, though. Don't watch his movies. I'm not a big fan of M. Night. In fact, not only am I not a big fan of M. Night Shyamalan, and this is going back so long at this point, but after the ending of The Village, I can't. That man can't ever get me into a seat to watch another one of his films. Like, ever. And I'll never forget, speaking of my brother, he was with me. And I think it was the trailer for Devil, which was a good film, but he was a producer. He wasn't the director or the writer on that. It was the trailer for Devil. I forget what we were going to watch in the theater that day, but everyone was really entranced with the trailer. It was looking really good. And when it said like produced by, and then M. Night Shyamalan's name came on, the whole theater groaned. It was like, it's like, oh man, that tells you something. Also never met the guy, so I don't know. Some of his interviews, I don't know, he comes off a little like he thinks a little too highly of himself. Just my opinion. Just an opinion. You hate The Village. It's the movie. You know what though? Okay, I'm sorry, I missed Eyeballs first. Shyamalan. Oh, he lost me after the one with the plants. Yeah, I didn't even see it. Because that was after The Village. That might have been the next film after The Village. Given, I liked Unbreakable, and I liked The Sixth Sense. Oh my god! So those two were good. I didn't like Signs, because this is a twofold story. I had a friend that was a real try-hard, tough guy type, but the one thing that scared him, for whatever reasons, were aliens. And not only do I not believe in them, in the sense that I need proof, and then whatever, I won't feel stupid. I'll just, okay, well, there they are. But also because he was so unreasonably afraid of them, and he liked to be as tough as he possibly could be, aliens annoy me in fiction. If they're like supposed to be this like otherworldly threat, I think of that one old friend, and I can't take it seriously. So Signs was a little difficult for me, but yeah, The Village, I loved everything about it until the end, because I like period pieces and I like monster movies, and everything was like, oh man, this guy's really going to knock it out of the park with this one. And I don't even want to give it away for anybody that may want to go watch that movie at some point, but holy crap, when she gets over the wall and that one particular thing shows up, and then of course the way other things were described, I was just like, wow, this is the stupidest friggin' movie I sat through. I can't believe I paid money to see it. I feel like I just got ripped off. I would never see another one of his films again. I felt betrayed. I felt betrayed because I think there was something, maybe it was, and he's not somebody that I think is great at ending. What is it? Was it J.J. Abrams I heard speaking? And I'm saying he's not somebody that I think is good at endings either, by the way. I think J.J. Abrams is good at a lot of things. Endings, not so much. But yeah. I think it was him that was talking. Somebody said that, whenever a storyteller has an audience, there's like a promise of some kind of like fulfillment at the end of that. Maybe it wasn't him. I don't know, because he's into all that mystery box crap, which is why he can't come up with a good ending, because he likes everything to remain a mystery. Anyway, you're rewatching Lost. Oh yeah, I never finished it. I was watching it. I was watching it with my parents and an ex-girlfriend, and we broke up in the middle of watching it. So, not during an episode, but I just, at the time it was kind of like a bad reminder. So they finished it, I didn't. And, then I heard it got really confusing and weird anyway. So, but it was good for what I did see. I think I saw 2 seasons. But that's another one that I heard got had a weird ending. Anyway, yeah, there's a promise that's made with a storyteller. Maybe it wasn't him, but whatever. And when you betray your audience with something so friggin' dumb, they're just like, you've broken the trust, made a promise to deliver on something fulfilling, and then you don't. That's how you lose an audience. You lose an audience easier that way, I think, than any other way. Which, although I've never read the novels, I hear that was the big turning point for Harris. I don't know. I can't remember his first name. The guy that wrote Silence of the Lambs and Hannibal and everything, because I heard the last book was so the ending of it was so starkly against, and I know what the ending was, against what the readership thought of one character, that it ruined it. It's not Ed Harris, because that's the actor. Tom Harris? I don't know. His character development is so good on that series. Yeah, no. Yeah, the writer's strike had an impact on Lost, but what I'm saying is J.J. Abrams is very good at setup, right? Like, even with and I didn't see the last Star Wars film, but that's another topic, though I have covered it at times. But he did set. I personally liked The Force Awakens. He set up a lot of good stuff, and I think he's very good at that stuff. But I think when it comes to his endings, it's like he's so good at setting up the mysteries, and he loves the idea of the mysteries. And you can certainly leave things open, but I don't know. He's got this idea of I guess maybe he feels like he has to put a closing in instead of just making it more interpretive. Maybe it's just the way he is as a storyteller. Or, maybe he's more into that Hollywood mindset of satisfying endings or whatever, but I don't know. The one exception might be Super 8. I mean, I really liked that film, although I haven't seen it in forever, so I can barely remember it. But I remember when that came out. And don't get me wrong, I like J.J. Abrams as a filmmaker. I liked both of his Star Trek films. Based on that, I thought he was going to be great for Star Wars. But I don't really. The point about Lost getting stupid had to do with the writer's strike. I was actually satisfied with the Lost ending. Okay, no, that's good though. I mean, everybody's going to have a different level of satisfaction with it. I don't necessarily think that anything that got messed up on the Star Wars films was his fault either. I think it was I think it was a managerial problem. And in managerial, I just mean like they didn't have a plan. Just that's the part that really gets me. There was just no plan. You're gonna buy a series for like $4.5 billion and you're not even going to write out an outline. You're going to do this pass the baton thing, and then two filmmakers are going to start having a pissing contest over who's just, oh, what a mess. Anyway, I said it with the prequel trilogy that Star Wars became a, and this was during the prequels. I felt like Star Wars was a lesson in what not to do with a good series if you have it. And maybe it's continued to be. I don't know. I don't watch any of the stuff anymore. Although I've heard there's some good stuff. I just haven't. And it's more because of the, I just see a lack of, I don't know, respect for the source material. I don't know. It's like, when Peter Jackson made Lord of the Rings, he loved that book, and that's the kind of people you want working on stuff. And J.J. Abrams was a Star Wars fan, so that's why I don't have any problems with what he did with it. Interestingly, though, I found out that through an article I was reading that George Lucas is a major shareholder in Disney stock. When he sold Lucasfilm for the $4.5 billion, apparently, according to this article, he got $37.5 million in Disney stock. So maybe he's not the largest share. He's the largest single person shareholder. That's what the article said. I guess there's probably shareholders that have more, but he's the largest single person shareholder. That's interesting. I'm not sure why it's interesting, but it's just an interesting little side note. Anyway, so where are we? 10:08. It's a lucky number for me. It's a good time to end. I'm just shit talking everything. No, I'm just joking. So yeah. Honeyball's going to finish Lost for the second time. Rob's going to go back to his book. Jim never showed up. And who else we got here? Rob, yeah. Lewis, I don't know if he's still here. A lot of people showed up today. And it started off very quiet. But yeah, I don't know if Mark's still here. Wendy probably left too. But yeah. No, it was good chatting. We got to do it in person, though. Like, we gotta get together. We could even do a working meeting one of these days. I know your schedule is different now. It's like now my week is different, and now your weekends are when I'm like you're available and I'm less available. But we do got to get together. But yeah, I'll be back next Tuesday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. No, I think we're on daylight. I don't know. I don't know what to refer to it anymore. It was always Eastern Standard Time, like, I don't know, EST. But anyway, yeah. Yeah, we got to do like a barbecue and watch some movies or something. Maybe The Big Lebowski. Do a double feature. Big Lebowski. The overrated films. Do Big Lebowski, My Big Fat Greek Wedding. Everybody can throw one in, and we'll just binge watch a whole bunch of overrated movies. Anyway, yeah. Have a great night, everyone. I'll see you next week for another one of these. And yeah, don't let the bed bugs bite. Something, I don't know. Change it up every once in a while. Yeah, I'll see you on the other side of the weekend. If you can't make it down to Glassboro, New Jersey this weekend, one day, Saturday, for the Nerd Force Fan Fest episode 1. Right, it's good. Their first show. Come down 10 to 4. And then, yeah, CT GamerCon the weekend. No, 2 weekends after, because I don't have one. What is that? Good night to you too, Rob. Yeah, right. I have one weekend off because the weekend of Easter, right? I won't be at a show. Which is probably smart, maybe. I don't know. We'll see. Anyway, yeah. See you next week. Have a great night, and yeah, enjoy your weekends, everyone. Take care.